Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT podcast.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to interrupt me to be like,
I
nah,
was
shut up,
gonna.
though. I'm pushing past you.
I should, because
So angry, we're coming hot.
everybody. Yeah. Just Tyler here. Friggin' Tim's. The anime is better than video games.
Tyler,
Exactly what you sounded like.
Tyler,
Freeman, you
it's
can
like.
attest to this. On my left.
Oh, it's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly saying we should play video games instead of watching anime.
Yeah. See, the anime guy says this.
Sometimes, it's like, that's like comparing ice cream and pizza. Like, they're two great flavors that you just want in different
Yeah,
circumstances.
but which would you rather have in the moment? And I
Right
swear
now?
to God, if you say ice cream.
Right now? Well, I already
No,
ate
not
dinner, so
right
I'd rather
now.
have video games, or I'd rather have ice cream.
Yeah, see, you'd rather have video games. See, you already said
No,
it.
I'm too. It's because I'm tired. Okay, I want to just sit and turn my brain off and watch fun colors and animation instead of having to input commands. Ugh.
Look, our listeners across multiple episodes have heard you use the phrase, I don't have enough time to play video games, but I don't think they've ever once heard you use the phrase, I don't have enough time to watch anime.
Because anime is something you
Yeah.
can do with other people.
Got him.
I can.
Got him right at the start of the episode. We
Val
caught
and
him.
I can watch anime. Freeman, you and I can watch anime. Tyler, I can't watch anime with. So guess what? I don't see
we
Tyler
can play.
anymore.
We can play video games.
Yeah, we do, and it's called I Watch You Play KOTOR and give you.
Yeah, and we play
commentary.
synthetic.
Except mine shit the bed, so I can't play it anymore.
That's true.
Wait, what happened?
I get constant frame stuttering.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's really bad.
Did you uninstall, reinstall? I forgot.
I did not. I need to try that because
should.
I tried going to the beta patch and it didn't do anything.
Interesting.
You know how you can like opt into that? I tried doing that.
Yeah.
It didn't help.
But it's weird there's this sudden change, because it's not like this game is getting any updates,
No,
is it?
not. I don't think so.
I even think it's abandoned, except by the players. Which is really funny because I think
The second one is out. No, it's not.
the second one's been out. Or no,
No, the second one's been in. It's still in early access.
Early access.
What the fuck? That's
Oh god! And everyone just heard the trailer start because for some reason Steam turned the volume on.
Listeners, Synthetic's
Yeah,
a fun
that's
game. You should play it.
You know, it's not a fun game, Synthetic too, because I think we've looked at it, Tyler, and we're like, wow, this looks way less fun.
It looks less fun, but is it less fun? We can't know for sure.
We can't know for sure until it comes out and isn't in early access anymore.
Yeah, we're not morally bankrupt, so we'll wait for this thing to release.
No.
That's
Okay, it's not about being morally bankrupt. I remember back when I was in like college and after college, when I would buy games on Kickstarter, or I would kickstart a game. The first build would come out, and I'd play it a bunch, and then the game would come out, and I'd be like, yeah, but I don't care anymore because I already played the game a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to play the half-baked version. I'd rather just wait for the whole game.
I think I've legitimately only paid for one early access game, and it was Stonks 9800, which was worth every penny.
No, that was worth every penny.
Wasn't that
I
like
didn't even
$1?
play that game all the way, and I knew it was worth money.
It's a goofy way to waste time. I still like it. They added a lot to it, but I haven't touched it in a while.
See, or you could end up in situations like with Star Citizen, where I backed it for like some money back when it was on Kickstarter before they even had their own website.
Oh, man.
And I
I
haven't
backed
booted
it
that.
for insert dollar amount here.
I backed it for more money than young Tim really should have thrown at it.
No, man.
Now I spend more than that on bills every week, but you know, it's back then that was like all my fun money.
Dude.
Let me just.
No, it was probably worth it.
No, it fucking wasn't. What are you
Oh,
talking
don't worry.
about?
The day this game releases, it'll totally be worth it.
The day, nah, because the game would be completely different. The whole like paradigm will shift to like no shot, just no shot. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think the only game that I really bought that was early access was Ready or Not, and it was how many hours do I have in it? Like 70 hours.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
How much different was it when it was in early access versus now?
A lot, like a lot.
better.
The enemy AI was way more aggressive. Is way more aggressive. They added like a bunch of new guns, a bunch of new weapons.
Yeah, but the
Like,
gameplay didn't fundamentally change. It's not like it's not like you couldn't breach doors when they first.
nah, because there were some problems. Like, it definitely felt like a half-baked fucking.
Like, it was
Sure,
buggy
no,
at the
but
beginning.
I'm saying like, there's so many times where I would back Kickstarters and stuff, and like features would be added. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Ready or Not is SWAT 4 again. So like the features were mostly there, and it was just, you know, letting it
Game
Yeah, I
polish.
guess
letting
you're
it
right.
letting it, you know, bake until it was ready. But
Yo.
like,
Talk about early access real quick. Michelle, have you guys heard of Coral Island?
no.
This name sounds familiar. Hold on.
It's one of those new like cozy farm like games.
Yeah, okay, I know
Oh.
this one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know this kind of shit. It's funny you guys we're talking about it because a huge update just came out for it. It's in 1.0 now, but Michelle's been playing it like while it's been in beta for the last year. She's like over like 200 hours into it already.
Jeez.
I'm like, you're a fucking monster.
You know what? Maybe this is the kind of game I need to pick up. Something that I
Cozy
can
game.
just
You just
something.
need
Yeah,
cozy.
maybe I need something cozy.
Man,
Have you not played
Helldivers is
Stardew
all the
Valley?
cozy you need, alright?
No one plays Helldivers anymore.
It would. No one asked me to play Helldiver.
Oh my god! Don't, Tyler.
I'm
Any
playing.
second with you, we're not actively playing something together, or me watching you play KOTOR is a problem.
Yeah. Because video games are the shit.
Yeah,
Not
I
saying
know.
anime isn't bad.
How excited was I when you called me on the phone? No, this is more important than anything else we were going to talk about. Freeman, Tyler.
Yo,
fucking-
dude, I was losing
last-
it, my
what's
guy.
going on? What's going on?
Last night, Val and I were watching House of the Dragon because we got around to watching it, and then Tyler, I suddenly look at my phone and it says missed call from Tyler,
Uh-oh.
and he sent me a screenshot from KOTOR, and I'm like, Tyler, what's going on? I texted, did you mean to call me? And he goes, yeah, and he sent me the screenshot, and then he called me back. He's like, dude, I found the droid on Tatooine.
Dude, this poor droid, man. He's getting used as a sex robot.
Oh, yeah. Tyler, tell Freeman the story, because I've been through it, and the listeners
my
will appreciate
God.
this.
So-
We're jumping way ahead. This is fine. This is great.
We're
This is
jumping
real
way
content.
ahead.
Who
You're on
cares?
I'm on the
this is the best
second
shit.
planet. Second planet. I'm a newly minted Jedi, and I'm unleashed unto the world.
Technically,
and this lady,
you're not a.
Oh yeah, true.
you're an
I'm
apprentice.
a Padawan.
You're a learner,
apprentice.
basically.
Yeah, whatever
Okay.
I don't know. It's yeah. I'm not officially a whole Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm like I'm a
You're with the
half-baked
Jedi, but you're not a
yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah, I'm half baked, right? I'm half baked.
If
but
that.
Like an early access game.
yeah, I'm version 0.3 for
I'm
sure.
the beta. I'm the beta.
Yeah, I am literally beta Jedi.
Anyway, tell them.
right? I walk out into the world, and then this lady goes, Missa, please, I need your help. She doesn't actually say that.
Doesn't sound like that
Like
at all.
Missa, please. But she goes on. She's like, oh, woe is me. My husband's dead. He left behind this droid, and it's the only thing that keeps me going. It reminds you of him. Like, he fixed up this droid before he died. Like, I need this droid. Can you go find this droid for me? And you're like, okay, but before you even get to okay, right? You have the option to start asking questions, right? Because you're like, oh, like, what's going on? Like, how did he escape? And then, or
No,
like,
no, not how did he
she's
escape.
stolen.
How did he disappear?
Yeah, how did he disappear? Like, was he stolen? Was there any evidence like of the door? Like, was the door open from the inside? Was it unlocked? And then she's like, I know what you're thinking, and no, he would never escape. He would never do.
He would never leave me.
He would never leave me. So you're like, So clearly this fucking droid left, because that's how these kinds of stories happen, right? But I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll run into this droid eventually, right? So I'm fucking around. I'm going around Dantooine, this like really questionable level design, and I saved this droid. Dude, it's
so Freeman,
questionable.
Let me back up. You find the droid, and you find it getting attacked by basically Star Wars wolves. They're called Cathounds, but he's basically being actively attacked by wolves.
And you save him. And he's not very grateful for it.
Oh no.
In the most like polite way.
Oh no.
But come to find out, it's the lady's droid. and he goes like, I don't want to be around anymore. And, because what did he say?
He
It
says-
was like along
No,
the lines
So
of
Tyler,
like,
you
yeah, what did he
find him and
say?
you rescue him, or
Yeah.
you kill the Cathhounds and you talk to him, and he goes, "Oh, thank you, Master Jedi." And you're like, "What are you doing out here?" And he goes, "I was searching for these Cathhounds."
Yeah, I was searching for the
And you're like,
Cathhounds.
"What
I'm
are you
like,
talking
"Oh,
about?" And he's
no.
like, "I can't keep going."
I can't keep going. And dude, I lost it. I lost it when what broke me was like you ask him like,
So
oh, like
yeah,
you're a replacement for her husband,
no,
and then
no. He goes, "Are you her droid?" And he goes, "Oh no, did she send you to find me? Tell her I was destroyed. Tell her I was destroyed." And you're
Yeah.
like, "Why?"
Oh my god.
And he's like, "Ever since her husband died, she's become increasingly attached to me. She's become increasingly erratic and won't let me leave her side." And it's something like that. It's like we spend all our time together, and your character's like, when you say you spend all your time together,
Yeah.
the droid's line is, "You have no
have no
idea."
You have no idea. And I'm just like, no. I stopped everything. I called him. I was
Tyler
like,
called
bro,
me.
what the
And so Tyler's like, "I don't know my character," and I'm like, "Tyler, well, the unfortunate news is killing the droid is actually the dark side option here."
bro? I can't believe that's the dark side option. I put this fucking thing out of
Or
its misery.
maybe what it is maybe I'm misremembering. It's either that's the dark side, or killing him is fine, doesn't do anything, but it depending on what you tell her might be like dark side.
Oh.
Like or maybe it's like if you tell her you could never find the droid and she should go look for it or something is dark side. I forget now. But that's how you start down the dark side path. Light side Freeman is just saying to the droid, which Tyler did, "Nah, she really needs you though, bro. Go back to her."
I feel like shit for doing it too.
Tyler, did you play at all or no?
Oh, after I
After
did that, yeah, I killed the third Mandalorian
Good.
group, and that was it.
Okay, so this is a spoiler, but when you go back to her, all she says is, "Thank you so much, Master Jedi. Come, droid. We're gonna go home, and we're gonna spend a lot of time together." And he just goes,
no.
"Please help me!" And then they run.
Oh
Oh.
no.
I should have killed him.
Tyler, after the podcast, you definitely need to boot it up and just go back to the Enclave and fucking do that scene. It's so
Oh
funny.
my
Oh,
god,
it kills
dude.
me.
This
Warned
poor
about this in
fucking
advance?
droid.
Huh?
Were you
What?
warned about this, Tyler, or did it just kind of happen?
No, it just
No,
happened, dude.
I have gone out of my way to not spoil a lot for Tyler.
Gotcha.
Out of my many years, I'll say this. I don't know why. Like, you get some like really funny, like questionable scenes. Like, there's a scene in Baldur's Gate where you just walk in and you see this. I think it's a dwarf or like a kobold trying to like fuck this half giant.
What?
Yeah. And like I've seen a lot of like questionable things in games, but for some reason I just wasn't ready for the kind of like situation of like, okay, like this droid clearly ran from its master, like haven't seen that before. But then like, damn, I don't know why. I wasn't expecting it
Nope.
from this game. Like Star Wars, it has like pretty, like aside from like it does have some dark themes right here and there, but like I never expected this kind of theme, and I think that's what got me thrown off.
Dude, it's so good.
Was not expecting it. I also played Tim. I also found the Jedi that wanted me to do his fucking work for him, and he was like, "I want you to investigate this murder."
Oh, solve
and that
you
shit was
found
pretty
it?
hilarious.
Did you actually figure it out?
I did.
Oh shit. Yeah, so Freeman, since we're on the KOTOR tangent, there's a scene where you stumble across a Jedi and he has a droid and two dudes with him.
Okay.
And a
there's
dead
also
body.
a dead body. And he
Like
goes,
dragging along with him, or just there
no,
when you find
like
him?
so
There.
you find him and he's like, "Oh, hello, student. I was investigating this murder right here. These two guys were on the scene of this murder. Can you help me solve this murder?" I know who killed this guy, but this is a good opportunity for you to figure it. It's puzzle time. Woohoo. Solve the murder, Jedi. And so you have to do like 5 fucking rounds of interrogation with these guys. Oh my god, it takes forever.
Yeah.
Like even me who knows the answer, you have to physically talk to everyone, Tyler, because otherwise the dialogue options don't show up with the Jedi. But
Yeah, I thought it
basically,
was weird. I was like, oh, this is gonna take me like 2 minutes, and I'm just like, why is this taking me so fucking?
because you
long?
have to like talk to you talk to the one guy, then you talk to the droid, then you talk to the other guy, then
Yeah.
you talk back to the first guy, then you talk to the Jedi. You just bounce around forever. But Freeman, the end of the story is like, it turns out one guy was a business partner of this guy, and one guy, his wife was cheating on him with this guy. And basically what ends up happening is you find out that both men are injured. They both have a motive for murder. There's blood on the scene, and it's not the victims. Those are like the steps you get through. And then there's a blaster lying next to the dead guy's corpse, and one of the guys has a blaster and the other one doesn't. That's also not the victims. And the other guy doesn't have a blaster, but he says the blaster on the body is his blaster. Right?
Okay.
And basically you piece all this shit together, and the answer to the question, I swear to God, it's so dumb, is both men are the killer. Because,
Yeah, I knew that from the get-go.
See, well, I didn't when I was a kid. So the recreation of events, Friedman, is both men came out here to kill this guy. The one guy who lost the blaster on the body killed the man for his wife cheating on him with him. But then the other guy who he was in business with and was getting embezzled by, the guy who died was embezzling money from the business. The other guy sees the first guy standing over the body and shoots him. And then that guy panics and calls the Jedi and is like, help, I'm being attacked. And then,
that's really dumb.
So the answer is both men wanted to kill him, but really one of them actually committed murder.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
And the Jedi's like, this is how a Jedi would figure out this problem. Like, the solution is not obvious. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, no, one guy committed murder and one guy has intent to murder. Like, it's...
Yeah.
So there's a lot of goofy quests on Dantooine.
They both had intent.
Yes.
It's just
Only
one
one
got to him, one actually murdered him, and the other got pissed. Well, I knew that it was both of them because I'm like, this is how this shit typically is. But the guy whose blaster it was, I knew for a second that he was up to no good because he's like, oh, I was out here for a jog. I'm like, my guy.
There's Kath hounds.
Yeah, like nobody is just out here for a jog without a gun. Like everybody says, like everybody. You don't even the Jedi are like, yo, don't leave home without the strap. Like,
and but the other guy is like, I'm out here hunting Iriaz, and you're like, there's no fucking Iriaz out here. What are you talking about?
There was
That's how good he is
Iriaz,
hunting.
though.
They're all dead already.
Wait, what?
There was Iriaz.
What? There's only the Kath hounds.
Nope, there was an Iriaz there. I swear to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't pick that. I forgot what option I did pick. Yeah, he said he was out here hunting. Oh, God. I forgot what option it was. Because there was something else you could nail him on.
Is that from... Oh!
Where do you... Are you looking up the options now?
It's modded back in.
Tree?
It's modded back in. It wasn't in vanilla. That's why. I literally Googled Iriaz KOTOR, and the dialogue is they were supposed to be in it. During the dialogue from the Murdered Settler quest, it suggests they should have been there. Rickard talks about hunting Iriaz, so we were both right, Tyler.
Oh my God! Just like the investigation, we both
were right.
Jesus Christ! Oh yeah, just for the listeners at home, I am playing the mod, the restored content mod,
which
where
is good.
It's pretty good. So well, it was good.
I've played it before, but I forgot there were because my brain defaults to original KOTOR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been parts where though it's led to nothing. Like I told you that, right, Tim? Yeah. like just dial like certain trees just not leading to the right
Yeah,
place.
they
I'm
just
like, damn.
blank out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird.
Should we actually move on to the news?
Yeah, why don't we talk about some actual news?
The
News.
two
I mean,
two
I'm
things
always
in
happy
news.
to open up with KOTOR. Like KOTOR's
Yeah.
KOTOR's worth checking in on.
You're the Star Wars guy, you know.
Yeah, let's go to another topic
Shut
some likes
the-
opening up with though.
Oh my god. So Magic the Gathering. As always these days, Wizards is like, how do we print money? It's called Secret Lairs.
Which IP do we collab with this time?
And some Secret Lairs are good. Some Secret Lairs are good. Mostly they have been shit lately.
Most of them have just been ugly.
Most
For
of
a
them
whole thing themed around selling you special art cards, most of them look terrible.
Yeah.
Damn.
There's one up now, Tyler, called Secret Lair Brain Dead, which is like some, I don't know what brand, but the art is all like tattoo pictures.
Yeah, there's a card that's just pictures of people's arms with tattoos on them. Like, not drawing of an arm with a tattoo, a picture of
It
someone's
looks
tattoo.
like a photo of an actual tattoo. It's really weird. I hate all those, but I'm not gonna buy them. But one that just got announced today that I just wanted to bring up because it's very funny.
What the fuck?
Did you look it up?
Yeah, like why?
I don't know.
Like, what's the point of
I
this?
don't know. But what I do know is the point of the one that is funny is they just today announced Secret Lair and Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
This is stupid. This is stupid. Like,
Which, in general,
all
or
right,
the
I guess
Brain
I'm
Dead
not
one?
napping through this because I'm not.
Wait, are you talking
I
about the
don't-
Brain Dead one or the Monty?
Monty
Yes,
Python.
all of it. Yes.
Well, no. We're here to talk about how the Monty Python one is good.
No, fuck off. No.
Why? No, the
Absolutely
Monty
not.
Python one's actually funny. They have the card Dismember, and it's the Black
Bruh,
Knight
no,
getting
no.
cut to pieces.
I am so tired of like these cross IPs. I'm done with it.
All right,
I can't.
Tyler, normally you're not wrong. Like the Hatsune Miku one that Freeman bought, I don't care about whatsoever.
You
Whoa,
bought that?
I
bought
didn't
that?
buy it.
You
didn't buy
bought
it. I
that,
didn't
you
buy it.
piece of
Did we
shit.
not hear my opening rambler how the art has been shit? Even though it's all Miku, and even though I play half the cards, the art on them is so fucking
No,
ugly that I didn't want to buy it.
No, I just wanted to. I
You
literally
didn't.
just wanted to stir drama.
No, but I'm debating on buying one of the Miku cards.
Oh my god.
Fucking tripping, bro.
Just buy it aftermarket.
Tripping.
So a lot of the art has been pretty shit. Like not even kidding. Like I have not been tempted to buy a Secret Lair for a while. I'm kind of tempted to buy the Monty Python one only because it is kind of funny and like I've bought some of these crossover ones before. Like I bought the Princess Bride one because that was literally the song Val and I danced to at our wedding.
Oh, so you felt obligated.
Not even felt obligated. I just wanted to. It was fun. And like Monty Python's kind of the same way. But I don't play a lot of the cards, so I'm like not 100% sure.
No, I play like 2 or 3 of them, but I'll give it to this set just because they nailed it on 3 fronts. One, it's an IP that doesn't stand out against Magic. The art is good,
Yeah.
and like all of these are seemingly playable somewhere.
I think honestly a big problem has been that there is a lot of shit art. Like the Freeman talked about the Hatsune Miku one, but like the art on the Hatsune Miku cards was not good.
Which was hilarious because like there's so much good Hatsune Miku fan art online. They could have gotten so many different Pixiv artists to come on and be like, "Can we just use this picture for the art?"
But like
And instead they got like amateur level shit.
there's also been this thing where like a lot of these Secret Lairs are not valuable cards these days. Like they are just not printing value in these whatsoever anymore.
Yeah, so the value's in the art.
Exactly, but also like some of them are just like, oh my god, these are like when I am all for having gorgeous art cards. When a card doesn't look like a Magic card and becomes actively hard to read. Tyler, I'm going to share my screen in Discord for a second so you can see some of these ones that have happened recently. It's not going to show up on video.
Listeners,
like-
I'll read out the card he's showing so you know
like-
what he's talking about.
So like, do you see my screen?
Wait.
Loading.
Yes.
Like,
Oh god,
look at
the
these. The Assassin's Creed
Da
ones.
Vinci cards.
Like this is a cool concept, but also like,
But, like,
how
what am I
the
looking
fuck at a game of
Yeah.
Magic? How is any person at this table? Who is supposed to read this?
Can I like, bro? I need to see that card. Like, you sure you want to see this card?
You sure you want to see this card?
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating, and like, where'd the Hatsune Miku ones go? Like right here,
Oh, yeah,
like
let me see this abomination.
like let me, yeah, like
Says the guy who plays Hatsune
like,
Miku
look
Project Diva.
look at this, like
Oh Jesus!
look
their
at look
faces.
like this is a little
This art isn't good. We're looking at the Miku ones for context, listeners.
like that one's
No,
pretty,
I'll say the Miku Child song looks pretty good.
but like
The
some of these
song
are just
creation is
this one's not terrible.
questionable.
Wait, hold on.
Soaring-
This is the second one. Where was the first one? Because
Yeah,
those
let me
ones
go
were
back.
uglier.
Yeah, those Freeman, like those ones.
Like, I want to make sure my
ugly.
point gets across about how upset I was looking at the Miku ones for the first time.
Was that?
Is it gone already?
No. I think that was in spring.
Oh, they have like the historic listings.
Oh, Tyler, actually, this one's so dumb. This one was the meme text where they did capitalization jokes.
And it's also in
What?
Comic Sans.
It's in Comic Sans.
It sucks because the art looks really cool.
Yes, thank you. Look at how sick this art
Why
is.
did they do this?
Because I see these cards and all I hear is Leslie reading them while doing the SpongeBob impression.
Yo.
Oh, here it is, Freeman. Here it is. Here's
All right,
the
yeah,
first
here's
Miku drop, Tyler. That's all
I
right.
hate that
Alter.
face. No, I hate that face.
This is the one where I might buy.
This-
No,
yeah.
not this
Cool.
one. Or no, this one's good. This is Chandra's
Chandra's
Ignition.
is good.
That
this
one
one
looks
sucks.
fine too.
That one's
That
okay.
sucks.
It's
That
just
sucks.
it's so generic.
No.
This is the one where I was like, let me go. I don't.
No.
This is the Azusa Lost but Seeking
No,
alt art.
no.
And then the last one, I don't think this one. Oh no,
This is just a
the Feather
completely
one,
different
which
style.
I would consider getting because I think
That-
Feather's a cool card.
That one looks like some what's his face from who did all like that promotional
Final
art for
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Anyway.
dude, it's like some of these ideas are cool, and then some of them are like these really weirdly like overdone ones.
Like to the point where it just doesn't look like a Magic
look,
card.
here's playing cards. Here's playing cards that don't tell you what the card does, and it's the flipped over art, and it's like,
Yeah, I don't understand why they like I feel like you can get away with that with like tokens.
Yeah, like cards where you don't need rules text.
like okay, Tyler,
Yeah.
Rankle, Master of Pranks. This card has a triggered ability when he damages someone. It has 3 different triggers, and you can mix and match them.
So you're expected to just memorize.
You just have to know the card. You literally
Yeah,
have
I
to.
honestly don't understand why these are legal.
So back in the
These
day,
shouldn't be legal.
they used to like mail out promo cards that just didn't have rules, and they printed one for this card,
God.
Cryptic Command, which is here 4 effects, pick 2. They're all relevant. They're all good. And this was at the time, I think, the most played blue spell in Modern. As a beginner player, someone using that against me and saying, "What does that do?" and it sounds like they're just making shit up, was infuriating. And even Wizards at the time was like, "Yeah, we realize doing a card where the rules text matters as something where we don't print the rules text on the card, massive mistake, and we really shouldn't do it again." And we're 10 years out from then, and they're just like, "Yeah, we will gladly sell you these now."
I hate this card.
Yeah, also, this is Goblin Instagram.
God, it's like they didn't learn from Kingdom Hearts 3 when everyone screamed how we don't like the in-game Instagram concept.
Yeah, so a lot of these have been pretty rough. I just wanted to highlight. Some of them are cool, but like I wanted to highlight at least one decent one, which is the like the Monty Python. Like this one is kind of cool. Leslie, I think, actually bought this one. Because it's
This one
like
with the
it's just
unicorn
pretty
in it, right?
artwork. But look at this. This is just nice artwork on a Magic card. Cool promo full art Magic cards.
There you go. There's a unicorn.
Yeah, there's the unicorn. But like this is cool. This is a pretty card,
Fucking
and it's
cardboard. Fucking
Fancy cardboard.
meanwhile there's these meme ones with the not a wolf thing. Like I don't understand these like weird joke ones. Like this was all posted by like a weird this is tied to like a Twitter parody account that they partnered with. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
Not a Wolf.
with all the wolves shit.
It's all people, like it's all wolves pretending to be people or something like that. It's fucking weird. Anyway, we're done with Magic. Whatever.
all forms except physical. I am a wolf.
Oh god, shut. Anyway, I just wanted to. I know that was rough for the. I was tempted to turn on the
Turn on the camera feed for this one bit of the
camera feed for this
podcast.
one, but meh. But anyway, Speaking of video games being good, Baldur's Gate 3 is a very good video game.
How would you know? You never even played it.
I don't need to. You guys have raved about it. I trust my
Wow.
friends.
Wow.
I mean, given that I didn't like Divinity Original Sin 2, whichever one we played, I'm probably not gonna like this game. This game's shit. But it's probably a really good game, given how much people love it.
Well,
Yeah, the game's a banger.
you know how you know it's so good? Apparently, since launch, they basically have not dropped down below 100,000 players concurrent, which is pretty insane for a basically single player or small co-op group game.
So there's an easy explanation for this. This game is so long, people are just still playing it since
Still
launch.
playing.
Yes. Yes, I probably would agree with that because how many hours do I have on this game?
Oh boy.
Fuck. And I'm not even done. Like I'm in the third act finally. 71 hours. That doesn't sound right, actually.
I know you can go through the game doing like going about it different ways, doing your character differently. So I know Baldur's Gate's already a pretty long game, but I'm wondering if this is just a case of this is a long single player game with a lot of replayability, which is weird because usually long single player games don't, and your replayable games are usually much shorter. But I wonder if this is hitting that weird niche of being both at the same time.
Yeah, and it's one of those games where I feel like unless you do everything the same exact way, no two games like runs are the same.
Yeah, that definitely factor in. So like, how do I put it? Like if there's someone who falls in love with this game, there's no reason to not play it again because you're gonna get a new experience.
Yeah, it's true. We should all play except for Freeman because he doesn't like good video games. I understand.
I feel like I legitimately would enjoy this, but I'm trying to not start a long game.
Yes,
for a
you
little
have
bit.
too many things you need to finish.
Dude, I'm so excited to talk about Nier later.
I've played too many fucking RPGs this year, but I'm probably gonna continue playing RPGs.
I mean, you're playing
Hell yeah.
KOTOR right now.
Yeah, and I'm on track to play KOTOR too, because this is
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I actually, Tyler, you know what's so funny? The other night after you got off really early, I actually installed and booted up KOTOR 2.
I know, you said, remember, because you were like, oh, well, someone's not playing KOTOR, so I gotta play.
Oh, that's right, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was on stream when you did it, because I was
Yes.
like watching you go through character select.
Yes. Because you were helping me pick my class. I just, as much as I'm sure it is tied to it being a great game, I mean, it is a great game, and people doing runs, like, even if it's a couple 100 hours, it seems like people are just dedicated to this. So, I mean, I think they've said they're not doing a big expansion for this, right, Tyler?
No, they said this is it.
So it's impressive
like-
considering how like Helldivers, after what, a month with the Sony controversy, like how many live service games would kill to have 100,000 average players every day? Kill.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, for a game like Baldur's Gate 3, once you made your sales, you don't really care how long players are continuing to play it for. I guess outside of just the promotion of people seeing it's a played game.
No, totally, but it's impressive that even with all that, it's still happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to call out that's pretty sick.
Pretty neat.
That they
It is good. I want the industry to trend back towards these high quality single player games.
Oh God. You want the industry to trend back towards good video games, Freeman?
Oh no.
Yes, I want. Speaking of games that people don't play anymore, let's.
So Halo Infinite is a dead video game, apparently. Tyler, I don't know if you know counts or anything. I haven't looked, but all I saw in comments about the show was that the game is like dead and on life support. And there was a round of layoffs at 343.
Wait,
Oh,
hold on,
big
rewind.
shocker.
Hold up. The game. I thought this headline was about them not
It
doing a
is.
season 3 of Halo the
No,
show.
it
This
is,
is about
it
the
is.
game.
But also, no. But also, I was leading into that, but by saying a lot of the comments were, "Man, Halo Infinite is on life support." 343 did layoffs and said that their future Halo games would probably be farmed out to other studios, and they would basically be kept on as like like steering the ship group instead of actually making shit, which makes sense considering they couldn't make a good Halo game apparently. Considering they have been there has been more time with the franchise being run by 343, Tyler.
Yeah.
Does that hurt? Because it hurts me. It hurts me a lot to know.
I never thought about that.
Yep.
Who owns
Actually,
Bungie now?
I didn't either.
Is it Sony?
Huh?
what?
Does Sony own Bungie now?
Yeah.
I thought Blizzard did.
No, it's Sony. Because they got Bungie to... Because doesn't Destiny stuff launch first on PlayStation or something like that?
Something along those lines. I was trying to think, like, is it
owned,
possible
I
for them
can't remember
to,
if
like...
they're owned by or they're independent and they just partner with Sony. I can't remember.
I think they're independent.
Like, so I was going to say, like, is it possible for Microsoft to be like, hey,
No.
could we license the IP to you?
Nope. Would you want them to? They've been working on Destiny for forever.
Damn, never
fucked up
mind.
Destiny.
Yeah, Sony acquired Bungie.
Yeah, they did.
Oh right, because they were going to make the Marathon remake.
Yeah, and then
Yes,
then
right.
everyone left Bungie because apparently management there sucks now. So I don't even think they would do a Halo game right now.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
did suck.
Halo the TV show had one of the worst success rates of anything in the era of video game adaptations aren't that bad. Halo it comes along and is like, hey, don't forget, Halo still sucks ass now. So somehow this show got a season 2. Tyler, you didn't watch season 2, right? Just season 1.
I did watch season 2.
Oh my god, I forgot you actually suffered through
I
that.
watched season 2 because Michelle was like, I want to watch season 2.
Well,
And I'm like,
Sound reason.
it couldn't be any worse, can it? And it was actually not terrible.
well,
It was watchable.
well, not anymore. Now they canceled the show and said, "Oh,
They did.
everybody worked so hard to make such a terrible show." Just like Witcher, where the showrunners are like, "We didn't play those stupid video games. Why would we care about them?" This is for the general public. This isn't for fans of Halo. And it's like, well, thanks for proving why people don't like TV show runners these days when it comes to that kind of thing. Yeah, they're done. Not a surprise. But one of the funniest Reddit comments I read on this was, well, at least we got a lot of dumb nicknames for Master Chief from this show.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be upset, but I was like, you know what? I might watch season 3 for like shits and gigs. I
Morbid
guess.
curiosity.
So I'm going to ask
Yeah,
a really stupid question here.
Mhm.
Did any good meme formats come out of this show?
I feel like you would have seen them.
I would have. All right. If not, then this show is truly a waste.
Like I said, other than the Master Chief nicknames like Master Cheeks or John Halo.
So yeah, John Halo. The only good like maybe thing I could have seen come from this was when Chief banged the other the Covenant human chick.
Stop! I don't.
That's like the only one.
Isn't that where Master Cheeks comes from?
Yeah, I believe so. Like honestly, it was a lot of stupid shit. Like I told you they killed off Arbiter, right? Second season. Spoiler.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised though. Like I was upset by
Tyler,
it.
I didn't know Arbiter was in the show.
Oh yeah, Arbiter. Well, I'm telling you because you'll never fucking watch the show.
Hell
so.
no.
Yeah, no, Arbiter. They brought Arbiter in the second season.
And killed him off within one season? What?
Yeah, I'm not. It had to have been because he was too expensive. So this is what they did. I don't agree with it. I don't. But like, the math, I guess, right? So the girl is supposed to be, like, Arbiter's replacement. Like in that, like. Listen. I know it's not that great, and I hate that I have to, like I have to agree with it. I have to because it makes sense, but I hate it. Like I don't like it at all. And I was telling Michelle why having Arbiter is such a much better character, because I'm gonna go on just a light rant on how like there's a little bit of actual good writing in Halo, right? It's not all very surface level. Like with Arbiter's character is good writing. I promise, right? In fact, you could ask anybody, even Tim, right? Like, I feel like any person who played the Halo games was really upset that Arbiter died, because not only like he
Tyler,
was
I
basically
didn't know Arbiter died.
Oh yeah, Arbiter dies.
You forget, Tyler, when you say the Halo games, I played 4 with us. I never played 5, and we still haven't done Infinite.
Oh no! Not in the games. I'm talking about the show.
Oh, you said to anyone who played the Halo games, you're sad when Arbiter died.
Oh no!
I thought you
You
meant
know
in
who Arbiter
like
is.
Halo
show,
5
because you
okay.
know who
Okay, that
Arbiter
makes
is.
more sense. Yeah.
Like I was telling Michelle, I was like, we get Master Chief, right? Like Master Chief is a flat character. He doesn't have like any sort of depth. Like all of the character development that we get through Arbiter, right? Like he has an arc, he has a journey that he goes through, right? Like we know his struggle. We get why he's all fucked up and all that shit. It's a good story. I like Arbiter's story. It brings a lot of depth to the Halo games in general. And the fact that you lose that in the show is like, damn, especially since Mickey, that's the girl's name, she doesn't have that much depth. So it's kind of lame, but I also understand because they wanted to have a character that had a similar perspective of like the Covenant, because that's what Arbiter brought into play, right? But now, so they have this other character, but not all. But if they wanted to keep Arbiter around, they'd have to keep rendering him every single episode, and I don't think they would have been able to do that because
Gotcha.
I think the Sangeli are just way too expensive.
I'm sure they are.
It's
Yeah,
almost like they shouldn't have bothered with a TV show in the first place.
they shouldn't have. Or hear me out, but it wouldn't have like appealed to a wider audience if they did like a, I don't know, if they did like a cartoon show maybe, like a 3D animated
Tyler, are you
thing.
talking about a thing perhaps that might be about some legends or something like that?
No, I mean, or I don't know, maybe a fucking video game, maybe. But to your comment though, Tim, I think it got a second season so quickly because you had a lot of people who were curious about how that first season was.
Sure, so they got huge big numbers and they're like, cool, we'll go with second season. And they're like, oh wait, no one actually liked this and we're done.
Yeah, because and no, it's fucked up. The second season was
This happens
way
every
better.
fucking time.
It does not happen every time.
I feel like a
I
lot
see
of
the
shows these days.
opposite.
I feel like these days a lot of shows on streaming services get a season, and then they get a season 2 announced real quick, and then they're like, "Oh wow, we had such great opening numbers," and then actually when season 2 comes out, they're like, "Oh, no one actually remembered or wants to."
Yeah,
keep
because
watching.
it's fucking because they don't have stay. Well, I think it's the opposite for good shows. Like a lot of the times you'll get like a really good start, and then they don't know how to like actually write a show.
I mean, it's also an issue with viewers. A lot of people are willing to take a chance on a season 1, but if you didn't love season 1, you're not gonna try season 2.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's true. Yo, speaking of seasons, real quick, you guys didn't watch Umbrella? Oh no, did you watch Umbrella Academy, Freeman? I feel like you're a type too.
Yes,
Freeman did,
I'm
yeah.
caught up.
Dude, did you see the trailer? For
No,
the
I
new
just saw the
season?
release date. What? I watched the trailer.
You should watch it only because of the song choice. I was freaking the fuck out. I was like
Oh.
shaking Michelle. I was like, it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time.
Is it a My Chemical Romance song?
It sure is.
Yes.
Dude, I was bugging. I was like, yo. She's like, I don't understand. Why is this so important?
Oh my god! All right, I gotta watch after this.
I was like, Michelle, literally the lead singer of the band. And she's like, that makes sense. Like, this song really matches the aesthetic for the show. I'm like, that's what I've literally been saying since we've been watching the show together. I've literally been saying that every fucking episode.
Unrelated, but back to Halo for a second. Tyler, did you see about this Halo? There was a Halo D-make that got announced.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I just was
For
looking
what?
at pictures while you were talking.
Yeah, there's actually been one someone released for the Atari 2600.
Oh my
Wow.
god!
Well, Freeman,
forever
someone put
ago.
out a Game Boy Color version of the first 2 levels of Halo.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's amazing.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna reorder this slightly. Let's talk about this since we're talking about Microsoft shit.
Yeah, but
Let's say we can leave all three of these in order because all three of them are Microsoft problems.
I'll
yeah,
say they're
but
all
let's
three are
let's go
Microsoft.
from gaming to bigger problems to the biggest problem.
All right, cool. So let's talk about Game Pass. So I'm gonna butcher this because I'm just repeating off of memory here, but from what I understand, they're changing what games are available day one depending on what tier you're on, and introducing additional tiers to Game Pass. So effectively, if you wanted the same access you had before, you're gonna have to pay more, even though they're calling it a new subscription tier. And this is the part where it gets a little tricky because they told the FTC they weren't going to raise prices if they did the Activision Blizzard merger, and from a technical standpoint, they aren't raising the price on the old tier. They're just removing shit from the old tier, which is now a strange question of, is this correct? Both ethically and legally.
Literally, how do you not think this is what Microsoft is gonna do?
Like, how do you think anyone operates any kind of subscription service in the current year and isn't thinking about raising the prices at some
All
point?
the fucking time. Every 5 seconds, price go up, price go up, price go up.
We got literally in the last 2 months, we got Netflix raised their prices, didn't get punished. Spotify did raise their price, didn't get punished. They're up 15% since yesterday. I only know this because I hang on Wall Street bets. No one gets punished for raising their prices except for Microsoft, who makes promises to the FTC, and now they're going to weasel their way out of it.
Which everyone predicted.
Yeah, but that said, if let's say if they weren't raising price across the board and they were instead introducing a lower tier of Game Pass where it's just you don't get day one access to new games, but you still get the catalog, I'd get that. I'd understand the idea of making the budget tier option, but the way they're doing it where the previous base is just losing stuff is not cool.
Nope. Sucks a lot.
Dude, what the fuck? I hate this.
I'm tired of
I
paying
hate
for
this rate of
streaming
inflation.
services. Yep, it's really shit. It makes me really want to get my streaming PC full of the oceans.
I mean, we're
full of a lot of salt water.
Oh, salt water. What were you gonna say, Freeman?
Cooled.
I mean, we're at the point that inflation is cooling down, but prices are never going to come back anything reasonable. So in terms of the actual percentage increases, yeah, it's at a normal level.
Okay, Freeman, that's great, and I that's wonderful that the economy can say that. It doesn't fucking matter when everything I buy costs more money.
You want deflation? You don't want that.
Yes.
You don't want the line to go down. That's communism speak.
Freeman, I want the line to go down as long as my salary don't go up.
But
yeah, dude, for real. Even with this raise, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, why do I feel like
death?
It's still death.
It is literally a miracle that we got our mortgage when we did, because oh my fucking god, I
yeah,
couldn't afford to
bro,
live.
seriously.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I hit a certain salary bump over the years that I've been aiming for a while, but by the time I'd hit it, my take-home pay after expenses was less than a couple years prior. So I was not happy. So it was annoying when I hit that milestone and said, "Wow, I'm really not happy about this."
It's 9 o'clock and we're starting to talk about money. We need to we need to not talk about money.
Okay, so speaking of big losses, let's talk about Crowdstrike real quick.
So this is really relevant because as you guys were talking about the other stuff before, I checked Reddit real quick. Officially today, the CEO of Crowdstrike got summoned to Congress.
Oof.
So big oof. But what happened? What happened, Tyler? As the IT man most affected by all out of all of us.
Yeah, the one who's interacted with us the most.
No, I probably shouldn't say it. No, I was gonna say something more personal, but I'm not gonna. No, not personal for me, but as in my
Your
standing,
actual work environment.
my work environment, my role, in all this, not directly with CrowdStrike, right? Mind you, listeners, I had nothing to do with this. I don't work for CrowdStrike.
Tyler, why don't you just tell us what happened with CrowdStrike on Friday?
I know. There's a big update with CrowdStrike. It only affected Windows computers, not Linux, not Mac OS, only Windows. And there's a channel file that got pushed in an update, right? And it got put onto every single sensor out there. Doesn't matter what machine. But this channel file had did not play nice with something in Windows, and that basically caused computers everywhere to go into not a boot loop. That's not the most like
Accurate
accurate
term for it.
thing. Yeah, because a boot loop would imply that like
You're able to boot.
yeah, like you can go into the BIOS, right? Like the computer just keeps restarting, and like nothing's happening. The problem would be you would get to your Windows login screen, and before you could do anything, like as it like booted into Windows, like Windows is booted, yeah, you get a frowny face, a stop code, and it would restart your computer. So you had to, yeah, so you had to go into the computer with safe mode, delete the file that was causing the problem, and
Oh man.
yeah. So ours was different because people with encrypted drives, right? Like so people who use BitLocker or McAfee or something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had to be a little bit creative. Well, you didn't have to be creative. It's not really a creative thing. You really just use the key to get in. It was more time consuming than anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, it broke fucking everything that had Windows, and most companies these days are Windows Shop. And I did not realize that this many things in our like I didn't realize this many environments had CrowdStrike. I knew CrowdStrike was huge.
It's Titanic, apparently.
Yeah,
I had literally no idea what this thing was until Friday.
I had zero clue. Well, I knew what it was because it's been in our environment for like the last like 2 years or something like that. And I know it's pretty big because like they even have their own conference. Falcon, it's in Las Vegas, like
Wow.
every other big tech convention. But I'm very curious to see. Actually, I was trying to go this year, but because I'm still on probation with my new like position, they were like, "Nah, you can't go this year, but like next year we want to send you and the other guy." I'm like, oh, "Okay." That was before all this shit happened. I think we were literally talking about it the day before. And what was even more funny anecdote. Well, it's not that funny, I guess, but I was like, "Hey, so like what's the deal? Like what's our plan for this?" And they're like, or not this, like stuff in general, like, "Oh, we don't have like much of a plan. The cybersecurity team like does that." I'm like, "Okay." Well, like, are we just gonna like react or do something? They're like, "Oh yeah, we like you can't plan for technically everything. Like we have playbooks, but not everything." I'm like, oh, "Okay." Like, do you get many like calls at all? You know, like while you're on call? And then they're like, "Tyler, like you're not gonna get any calls. 12 years I've been working on this team. I haven't gotten a single call." I was like, "Oh well." And literally the
Damn.
next day. So yeah, I thought it was definitely interesting. You guys didn't weren't. Oh no, you were affected, right, Tim? I think.
Yeah, my because we get all our software from licenses from the company server, which was down. The IT for all of my company and all of our associated companies was down. So for half the day, I couldn't open any of the software I use.
Dang.
So I could access my computer, but our software couldn't pull licenses from the server, therefore couldn't work.
Yeah, someone clearly rolled out an update without testing, or they tested it without like doing enough tests, and they just roll it out.
Yeah, they test like the blanket scenarios, but like it seems like they didn't test a very common scenario.
Yeah, which is crazy because or they just didn't test enough. Everybody at the office is convinced that they just didn't test at all and they just rolled it into production.
Oh, of course. What?
Yeah,
Why
because
else?
the
What else? I mean, you got.
yeah
How many times has Freeman talked about almost running into that shit?
Bro, I straight up
yeah
had to fix something today, so I'm not here to whine about work. We're prepping for a release. Something isn't working. A dev who we let go had a bit of code that made it all the way up, and I asked the question like, why did this go? And no one had any answers, and no one had tested the scenario it was touching.
Oh my god.
And I have a sheet that says 3 people signed off on. I'm like, what did you sign off for this? And they're like, well, that the core functionality work. I'm like, but this has nothing to do with the core function. This is if you're upside down underwater, does it work in that scenario? And everyone's like, well, I don't know. So
Oh my god.
we're having a conversation about corner case testing this week.
Oh
yeah.
man.
It was an interesting weekend. My company is almost remediated. We're pretty much remediated at this point. Everybody's back up and running, but yeah, I thought it was interesting. I had to work a lot this weekend.
That's really sucky.
Yeah, it is what it is. Working in IT, it's great. I love it here. We can talk about
Talk about some Weeb shit.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
all right, let's do it. Let's do it. It's time. So,
Time to
Tim,
be happy
good
again.
good news for you.
Yes.
Licorice Recoil. Licorice
I love
Recoil. How do you
licorice.
pronounce the
Just
show?
kidding, no, I don't.
So,
Licorice.
there was an announcement that there is a new animation project coming up. There was an announcement of an animation project today, but the director wanted everyone to know that this isn't the animation project that was originally announced. So, what got announced today is 6 mini movies are being produced for Licorice Recoil, with each one, I think it's directed by a different member of the staff of the first season.
I'm literally reading the Mal article right now.
Yeah, but the big thing is that this is not supposed to be the continuation. So this may end up just being side story movies, but it sounds like they're saving the continuation for whatever the next animated project is.
I am so glad. Literally, last podcast was when I talked about wanting more Licorice Recoil and not being sure and how the ending is open ended, and this is just great news.
All right, given that they've committed to the continuation, I just got to find a lull in what I'm watching and slot this in as a, backfill at some point. It's on the list. Moving on. We had some Anime Expo announcements. This one was kind of weird they did it there, but there's a show that came out last year called Chain Soldier, and I dropped it 4 episodes in. This was the one that got controversial because the actual name is like Chained Slave or something, and they didn't want to translate that to English. But the gimmick of the show is basically it's this world where there's a portal to another world, kind of like Solo Leveling. But on the other side, only women have superpowers, so only women fight, except this one guy wants to fight, but he meets up with his captain who can transform him when she chains him, so he becomes the chained soldier, and then he can fight. And the setup and the action is so generic and terrible, but the manga has absolutely wild, spicy situations.
Oh.
Like the manga's famous for its fan service, so they adapt it to the anime, and they just don't make it spicy. And the very few scenes they made spicy, they were like afraid of people being mad, so they censored all of them, even though it was airing late night on a channel that does uncensored anime. So everyone's like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And everyone got mad. It did very poorly, but the IP is still really popular. So what do? They go shopping around for another studio to hand it off to, and they give it to Studio Passion, who did Interspecies Reviewers.
Studio Passion or Studio Passion?
Passion. So there's hope that they're going to bring back the spice for season 2. I'm not going to watch it, but I'm still going to keep track of whether people
I'm not
think
going to
it's
watch
better
it,
or
but
not.
I'll keep awareness open.
Look, if it gets spicy, you bet your ass it's going to be a top post in the anime subreddit when they come back with the spice.
God.
So I'll see what they do, but I'm not watching that shit. That show was boring. And unfortunately, I have nowhere to vent about it because Crunchyroll decided unilaterally, I think this was just after our last recording, that they're just getting rid of their comment section on all videos, news articles, and other things posted on Crunchyroll. The episode discussions, back in the day where this was a legitimate place to have episode discussions, it was cool to see people's reactions there. Obviously, we've moved off to forum spaces, so you can either go, our anime is where most of it is, or you can go talk with those 12 people who use my anime list to talk about episodes. You can go there too. But we're just kind of losing another spot to talk about stuff. And I think the big one we're losing is you can't comment on their news articles or press releases anymore. Which means there's no official way for people to openly be mad about a press release anymore. It used to be you could just bitch in the comments and Crunchyroll wouldn't care. But now there's no official way to see what people are thinking without going to find a third-party site to say, how are people reacting to this news? And that is very much in the vein of like if you hear anyone being like, "Oh, we're disabling comments on YouTube videos for like XYZ reason." Like it's the same kind of thing. Like I don't want to go somewhere else to discuss what I'm reacting to. Just let me talk about it here. And it kind of sucks that Crunchyroll's getting rid of it. I'm fairly certain they've been planning this for a long time, but they got caught in the crossfire of a double issue 2 weekends ago. One was that, I think we talked about.
I was gonna say, didn't we talk about this last time?
Maybe it had just broken. I don't know why I didn't see it on.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it was on the show notes last week.
I think we mentioned it like the last second because it was that Crunchyroll got rid of their comments because I was talking about finishing Windbreakers and how the comments were gone. Like we finished.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because everyone was screaming about how they used AI generated subtitles for Shikonoko, and then it turns out they didn't, and the subtitle was just really, really bad at translating.
Speaking of really, really bad, but we'll get to that.
Well, no. Speaking of really, really bad, Rent a Girlfriend season 4 got confirmed.
Oh,
I love this trash. This show is terrible, but the real significance of why season 4 is amazing is there's this one panel from the manga that got absolutely memed to high hell. So for the longest time, main character has been like pining after this girl. She's like portrayed as the best girl in the show, but she's always been single. And there was this sort of plot line in season 3 where this guy is hitting on her, and you, the viewer, and the main character don't want her to get with this guy. But in season 4, I'm fairly certain she's going to start dating some guy. So the main character is, for lack of better words here, he's feeling cucked. He's upset by this, so he jumps in the pool that they're at because he doesn't want to accept it. But like he's trying to drown himself, but he also, listeners, cover your ears if you don't want to hear anything stupid here.
God.
He's got a visible erection thinking about her while also like half drowning in this pool. That panel got meme to high hell, and this is the season where that scene is going to happen. So purely for the memes, I'm here for it.
Yeah, the memes.
Yeah, the memes.
Yeah, the memes. But speaking of memes, I don't have the full soundboard set up, so we're just gonna play gas from the soundboard. It's been a wild week with the. I think that went on really long.
Wow, 2 weeks.
It's been. Well, I feel like it always starts off really slow, and then the second girls start dropping, it goes really fast. But the our anime Best Girl of 2024 contest has wrapped up. And in continuing meme tradition, the finals came down to the fated duo of Megumin versus Hollow, who somehow always manage to face each other every year. And I think, for the record, Hollow usually wins this matchup, but this is the one that mattered the most because it was the finals, and yes, Hollow finally won after 11 years of being in this stupid contest. For some background context, Hollow is Luigi's best girl, and Megumin for the longest time has been my best girl. So there's a lot of personal feelings in this race. Obviously, I'm upsetty spaghetti, but congratulations to Hollow fans.
Meme is finally dead.
Watching everyone just get mad about the upsets is really why I'm here every year, though. But yeah, that was it for the Weeb shit. Really not too much happened. A lot of it was Anime Expo, and most of what I was going to talk about was Fate, but I realize
I'm very sad because I had a couple characters get pretty high up in there. You know, Chisato, we were talking about Licorice Recoil, got very far. Violet Evergarden got quite high up there. But I can't.
I think we got like Ryuko from Kill la Kill up to top 16. Every year she gets higher. So she's becoming a potential.
Can you take me
I feel like unless there's some breakout hit, it's just gonna be Megumin's gonna follow Hollow out next year.
Nah. So next year, now that Megumin's the clear winner. Well, actually, no. Freerun's gonna be running next season.
Well, I was also gonna. Well, I don't know if I feel like Fern would win more than Freerun would.
Possibly.
But I was gonna say that. Honestly, I was kind of surprised Bochi was literally #1 seed for the whole thing and went out in like the top 16.
So it's weird. I think for the last couple of years, Aqua has been #1 seed every year for like 3 years. So to see Konosuba get dethroned during a season when Konosuba was airing was very weird.
Freeman, do you want to just jump in? Because that transition is like literally perfect.
Yeah, so fuck it. We'll talk about completed anime first. I tried to structure it on the list. So
I know you did, but you literally just said Konosuba was airing right now. Hey, why don't we talk about how Konosuba was? Because we finished it.
We all finished it this time.
That's right.
All right. So hold on. Let me move completed shows up to the top. But we'll talk about Konosuba first. So this was a fun season. Tim, I know you weren't impressed with the animation for most of it. But at the end of the day,
What do
I
you
think
mean
the
I wasn't? You're making it sound like you were like, oh, this animation's fine.
I mean, the animation wasn't as good, but like it wasn't as much of a deal breaker for me.
I didn't
Because
say it was a deal breaker. It's just something I brought up.
regardless, the comedy in this season, I might have to go back and watch season 2 because I've seen season 1 a million times, but I think this might have been the funniest.
It was very funny.
Like I was
In the beginning, I will say, Freeman, and you agreed with this, in the beginning, it felt like the jokes weren't going very far because they were dealing with that princess, and a lot of the jokes were tied to that. As soon as she left, it was hitting.
Yeah, it was a very, very much an issue of her character and the arc itself.
That scene, Tyler, you I'm sure remember this. That scene when Aqua and Kazuma are eating breakfast together in the restaurant, and they are totally making shit up, and the waiter is like, calling them out on it. Freeman will attest. We had to pause. I was laughing so hard at that. When
they're like, oh, this must be your finest wine, and the waiter be like, oh, it's our cheapest.
And then there's like a 10-second pause before Aqua says anything.
That was great.
I was cracking up. That was really funny.
Yeah, I like it. It was a funny season.
It was a good season.
It's always the pauses keep fucking me up. Like the well-timed pauses.
A well-timed comedic pause is just gonna get you.
Like,
Yeah, I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8. That was higher than another show we're gonna talk about. But yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like that was a good season of Konosuba, even with the stupidest looking face in that ending I've ever seen in my life. That one shot that
the ending song.
You kept bringing up the shot of the 4 of them when they look so terrible.
So the opening's well animated. The ending is not defendable. This shit is gross.
But it didn't even matter.
It is a bad ending.
It didn't even matter because every time that stupid tadpole was on screen and when it died in the pool, I was dying every time. Oh man, that got me really good. Tyler, did you have any standout moments? I know you already talked about it, but now that we're done.
Honestly, I think it was like anything with the why am I forgetting her name? The little girl. The darkness scenes are you know what I really enjoyed for some reason? Was it you who posted or Luigi posted when Megamine was tying up darkness?
Oh, Tim posted
I posted that.
Yeah, you
that
posted
was
it,
so
yeah.
funny.
It's not what it looks like.
The comedic timing of them walking and Cosmo going, hey, oh, and then they talk for 10 seconds and then they just look up and it's just a cut to the door slamming shut.
Yup.
Is perfect comedic timing. Perfect. And then Megamine trying to rip the door open and Cosmo just holding it saying, no, it's okay. You guys can be alone.
You guys can be alone. Anything where Kazuma is just a straight piece of shit with like the little girl also. I keep forgetting her. Like she was the first arc in the season.
Oh, the princess?
Yeah, the princess.
Oh god, everything he did.
Oh, see,
everything he
was
did was just a piece of shit.
Bad for like that was too shitty for me.
That was too shitty. Call me Big Brother. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Oh, see, that just made me like, ugh.
Dude, I couldn't.
I had the same reaction as the in-universe people, not as someone trying to watch the show for comedy. Mm-hmm. Freeman, here's the real question. You scored the movie a 10 out of 10. Do you think this is better than the movie?
No, so I think we were talking about it right as we finished it. I liked it, but I didn't think it was as funny as the movie. So I left the movie at a 10, and I gave this one a 9. Which, so the way I ranked it is season 2 I gave a 7, first season I gave an 8, and I think 3 was an improvement on 1, so I gave 3 a 9. And then the movie's a 10. Best comedy anime movie I've ever seen.
I will still never forget it is still it will forever be one of the saddest moments I missed out on when you guys went to see the movie and were dying laughing in the theater when no one else reacted.
God, the 1-2 punch of Cosmo sniffing and then the scene that happens immediately after.
Bro.
Anyway, moving off Konosuba. Should we start at the top and work our way down here, Tim?
Sure.
So, I
I
finished
only
watching.
have one other thing, so.
I finished watching season 2, part 2 of Tokyo Revengers, which I'd been slow rolling for the longest time because no one will shut up about how bad the show is. And I'm gonna say season 2, part 2 is probably the best the show has been. So I'm glad I stuck with it. It's really weird though because they kill off the main antagonist in the strangest way I've seen in an anime. Like the whole gimmick so far is I'm giving you the 30-second recap of the show is in the future this guy's ex-girlfriend, she's killed by sort of the Yakuza. Then he ends up getting pushed in front of a train and warping back in time. So he keeps trying to fix the past and coming back to the future and finding out that like even though I changed most things or like I got involved with the Yakuza, I'm not able to save her. What's the deal? So he keeps learning bits in the future about this gang that he's in the past and going back to try to make sure stuff doesn't go wrong. And every time he comes back, the same dude is fucking everyone over, the same villain. So he spends most of season 2 convinced that this guy must also be a time traveler. I've got to stop him in the past. So season 2 plays out. Shit's wild. People are shooting each other. In a show about biker gangs and punching each other, like 2 people get shot in the finale. Main villain goes to run away. Main character chases him down, and he calls him as like, "I know you're jumping through time, and I need to stop you from doing this." He's like, "You think I'm a time traveler? I'm not traveling through time. And then bam, he gets hit by a truck and dies. Never seen this shit
my God.
play out like that.
Fucking stupid.
So we don't even know what the villain's deal was. And then the show ends on the most non-ending possible. Where you're like, okay, cool. They're really, really setting up for the season 3 announcement, which was not announced. So it was an odd ending. The plot line of the season was great, but the ending sucked. So yeah, if you want to watch your delinquent anime, maybe give Windbreakers a chance before going and watching Tokyo
Yeah, I was
Revengers.
gonna say I already have my delinquent anime. I don't need another one.
Yeah, plus Takemichi's the worst main character in any shonen anime.
Damn.
No question. He sucks. Like he literally for the first 20 episodes, he just cries his way until stuff works out around him.
Damn.
All right, moving on. Delicious in Dungeon. Val and I finished this like 2 days after the last podcast recording. I really like this show. Studio Trigger at work showing what they can do when they don't need to be super over the top and only need to flex when they need to. Tim obviously knows this. The show had a really slow build before it started getting remotely interesting.
It was so slow that I fell asleep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I really don't blame you. The first 8 episodes are kind of rough. I think it's episode 10 is when the show got somewhere where Val and I are like, ooh, this is interesting. And it's been interesting since, and B, they confirmed a season 2 that is most likely going to adapt to the end of the manga because it already ended. So we're going to get a complete adaptation, which makes me very excited because it's so rare that we get these. Maybe less rare going forward, given how much new seasons everything's
please
getting.
throw that apostrophe on there, Freeman, because a lot of your announcements about anime over the last few years have started being less and less true.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm glad I'm wrong. Back in the day,
I know,
getting a season 2 meant you were lucky. Getting a season 3 was a goddamn miracle. Getting a remake, only Full Metal Alchemist gets that kind of treatment.
Only Full Metal. Well,
Now
now
there's
One Piece.
Now there's multiple remakes every season, proving that you can just retell the same story and still make it good. But there are some cases where you can't just tell the same story over and over again and it's still good. Tim and I watched a show where they keep telling the same story over and over again. Except sometimes they'll throw in little things like bridges. We're talking about Laidback Camp Season 3, where they just did almost nothing novel this season and just showed off tourist sites in Japan.
Somehow, our scores are radically different. Radically different.
What did I even give this?
You gave it a very high score. I gave it a 6. I believe you gave it a 9.
I did not give Season 3 a 9. I gave Season 3 a 7.
Oh, okay. Well, same thing. Still.
No, our discrepancy was that I gave Season 2 a 10 out of 10.
That's right. Okay. So, camping falls into the same bubble as Dr. Stone, where the show concept is so unique and I'm so invested in the characters that I'm not going to stop watching, but sometimes it's just kind of shit, and if it was a new show, I wouldn't watch it anymore. And camping wasn't horrible, but my God, it genuinely frustrated me when this whole season, half the season is this trip involving just showing off these famous bridges in this one Tokyo province of Japan. And then they build up to this big camping trip with all the main characters again, just like they've ended the other seasons. And they literally show, here's a food we made. We had a cute moment under a cherry blossom tree, and then done. Nothing else. And I'm like, this is literally what I'm here for.
Yeah, and I think a bigger issue was we wouldn't care if the plot was going nowhere if it looked stunning.
Oh my
But there
God.
was an odd decision made by the animation team to just seemingly just use live action photography for all backgrounds and just put an ink filter over it.
Tyler, it literally looks like it. I think we talked about it, but it literally looks like they took photos and just slapped like an AI anime art filter over it.
It was not good.
It's so
coupled
weird.
with the shitty CG they use for anytime anyone's on any vehicle. It wasn't amazing.
Yeah, oh man,
That's
the CGI is whew. It's rough. It's rough, buddy.
Like MF Ghost was better than this.
Damn. That's rough, buddy.
All right.
it was disappointing, but again, as soon as camping comes back, we'll watch it. Like, it's not like we're off the ride. It's just like Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone's at least going to end, but like camp, I don't know. Maybe we'll get another season in like 2 years. Because isn't camp like fucking huge in terms of sponsorships and stuff in Japan, Freeman?
That's mostly why season 3 was made. I think it was just whatever province they did the bridge tour in must have been part of this because they realized that tourist money pays out more than the investment into the show's production.
It's like Haikyuu, you know, it's another one of those shows that has an effect on what Japanese children do.
Oh yeah, so like the volleyball association's like, please do this, or like what's his name? The main character from Yao Pedal is like the official mascot of the Japanese bicycling organization because he's so well known.
That's so nuts. Yeah, but that's all the anime we finished since last time.
Tyler, tell us about some live action stuff you finished.
Oh. Was it completed shows. I watched The Boys season 4.
What'd you
I
think?
thought overall it was just okay. I thought the ending was pretty good, but overall the season was just like meh, and it seems that's more than what the general consensus is. It sounds like a lot of people did not like this season.
Really?
This isn't the final season, is it?
No, they confirmed that the next season after this is gonna be the last season.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They didn't have any Jensen Ackles in it, so of course I was upset. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of just okay. Like, it felt like not really much happened. Like, we got like some character development from a key character. We got to see one of another character kind of like rising up and being more prolific. This was like their season to kind of do that. But aside from that, I felt like really nothing kind of happened, except at the very end. Like, no real things happened till the end. So
Was there like big character development, just not a lot of plot, or was it just it felt like nothing?
like there was plot. Like, there was an overarching like thing that like they were trying to figure out. Like, they're trying to solve a problem the entire. Like, I mean, the whole show has been trying to solve this one problem, but this one thing that's supposed to help them solve the problem, they're supposed to get. But I guess it's like, it feels like it was a lot of padding. It felt like it was a lot of running in circles.
Oh no.
Also, they were like super heavy-handed with the political, which I'm not like the biggest fan of exactly, but there was a lot of like political satire. Like, super heavy handed. I mean, it was always kind of like that, but I felt like it was extra this.
Yeah, I heard there
Like,
were a lot
drawing...
of people who couldn't pick up on it in the first couple seasons were finally able to see it like staring right at them this season.
Yeah, I felt like it was just like the parallels were way too much, and I feel like they just kind of killed it for me. I'm kind of hoping that they reel it back in just a touch, at the last season, but whatever. I still have faith. I think overall the show is still pretty good, and I'm definitely gonna watch the last season. I hope the last season's good. The Bear season 3, man, I cannot cook while watching this show, or I get stressed.
Yep.
And if that's not an endorsement, then I don't know what is. Like, this show is so good. Like, there's some shows, like, I mean, there's quite a few episodes that really don't mean anything, and they don't contribute to the story. Well, like I feel like that is the entire show though. Like it's not. It doesn't like there are arcs, there are like points to what the characters are trying to do. Like each season is a goal that the characters are trying to get to, but it's almost like it's happening in the background while they're doing like their day-to-day lives. So it's kind of like a really stressful slice of life, if I could like say that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just stressful. But the show's really good. It's like
I want
really
to watch
fucking
it.
good. You
Heard nothing
should
but good
watch
things
it.
about it.
It's yeah, I just like it, like everything about it. And I think I talked about this on the podcast before. Um, it got me into watching Matty Matheson because he's like one of the guys who I don't even know if you guys know who that is.
No.
He's like this like really popular. I don't know if he started on YouTube exactly, but uh, he's like a big time chef, and he looks hilarious, like ridiculous. But he came up with the concept of the show, like presented it to Netflix, and he's also in the show. But yeah, no, it's man, it's a good show. Y'all should watch it. Well, no, Tim, you don't watch normie stuff that
Oh
much.
my
So.
god, I'd be so okay to watch it.
I don't know. It's a lot of stress. It's a very stressful
That's
show.
then why? Oh, whatever.
Nah, I know. People are like, "Yo, this is just overcooked the show."
That was what I thought it was this whole time. Is just let's watch stressful cooking scenarios.
It really is just overcooked the show. But yeah, yeah, that's all I watched for normie stuff.
All right. So let's talk about new shows real quick. This should be short. Tim, do you want to describe the Elusive Samurai, or should I?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of how.
This show is just straight up
Tyler,
beautiful animation.
this is a show I would almost say you could consider watching.
Oh yeah.
So this is the guys who did Windbreakers, Cloverworks. Cloverworks has been hitting it out of the park pretty good. This is basically a historical one of the very cool historical fiction show about the son of a shogun who is overthrown by one of his generals, and how he basically rebuilds and tries to get power back. We've seen 2 episodes, but this is some of the most R-rated violence I've seen in an anime since, like, I don't know, when we fucking watched Akira, practically. Not maybe not. It's not that much, but like I can't think of anything we've watched since where there is like this shit's violent.
Yeah, there's a lot of people cutting each other's heads off. But like
But
the way they handle it, the cuts between
it
the
is
lighthearted
so-
parts of the show and the parts that are brutal.
Freeman, there is one
it's
cut
so well done.
I know you're describing, and I know I'm thinking of the same exact fucking. Oh, it's
Ball goes up, head comes down. That's the scene.
okay. Well, okay.
All goes up, head comes down.
Tyler, there's
Yeah.
there's literally a shot where a kid throws a ball on a roof and it rolls off the roof, and then the camera cuts to looking at the ground, like parallel to the ground, showing where the ball will hit, and as the ball comes into frame, halfway through the frame, it just flicks and suddenly it's a head bouncing off the ground, and the camera pans around and everything is on fire.
Man,
And
that's awkward.
It was the smoothest fucking cut I've seen in a long time. This show is really pretty. The animation is so good, and there is some stylish fucking choices happening in this show.
The fight scene in the second episode was just
I don't
absolutely
know.
wild.
This show looks really happy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, right? I almost didn't want to
sure
watch
does.
it because it looked too happy.
It's there's the fight scene in episode 2 has multiple incredible like sequences of animation, like in a single fight. It's not like the final move is incredible. Like the whole thing is stylish as hell. There's a lot of movement in this. Like when characters are walking, they're wearing big heavy clothing, like very, stereotypical, like the big flowing robes, and they are all moving and flapping around, and it's like almost too much stimulation, but it all works. The cast of characters already seems great. The main character and Hawks from My Hero plays like the grown up or the prince.
Yeah, but he's
And-
definitely playing his Gojo troll routine in this show.
Yes. So it's fun. This is so I forget if we talked about last time on the podcast. Not a lot of shows had seemed like pickups for us. We started watching Oshi no Ko season 2. And that's like kind of it that Val and I were watching. We watched Mother's Basement's video on shows to pick up, and we have a couple we want to start, but this was the one that when Freeman was over on Sunday after Leslie left Tyler, we were like, let's try this one. Instantly, this is the show all of us are going to be looking to watch on Thursday. Freeman, I honestly think, as much as Oshi no Ko is great, and I'm not denying Oshi no Ko is great.
Don't finish the sentence.
I want to start with this over Oshi no Ko every Thursday. Like this.
Why would you finish that sentence?
Because Freeman, are they hating me because I spoke the truth? Is that what's
No,
happening?
they're hating you because you're wrong. Oshi no Ko has an ongoing plot that I want to see how it plays out. This is still new. I'm not that obsessed with it yet, but I might be. Give it time.
Damn, that dude just cut his arms off.
Tyler, are you watching the
Are you
trailer?
I was watching a like, you know.
Well, he can't have seen much more than us because only episodes 3's out.
Oh,
We've
yeah,
watched
we're only one behind, so
either
you're seeing
way,
what we saw then.
Look, Freeman likes Oshi no Ko. I like this. Both shows are fantastic. I think if both of them stay on track, they're both looking at like 8+ out of 10, unless something happens. I don't want to jinx it, but they are both very good. But I'm glad we picked this up early in the season because this is definitely one I'm going to want to keep watching.
Yeah, this one's gonna be good.
Before you talk about the next news show, Freeman,
Go
we
ahead.
mentioned
You can roll
Hawks.
your next one.
No, real quick. We mentioned Hawks. My Hero is very back right now. Like My Hero is
I
incredible. this
only
season.
haven't seen the newest episode, but I've seen everything else and can
No, I
vouch for
know.
what you're
I'm just saying, like My Hero is incredible this season. Tyler, I know that you gave up. You might be interested in picking back up.
I give up. I never said I'd give up. I
Oh
just
no,
said
that's right. You watched Dark.
Yeah, I
when did
watched.
Dark
Deku arc.
I caught up before this new season.
Oh, you should start watching this season.
Yeah, the season's actually worth
This
watching.
season is I'm gonna call it fire, not because there's a bunch of fights with Endeavor and Todoroki doing fire shit, but also because the season is fucking great.
Yeah, you get like 5 minutes of some classroom stuff in episode 2, and then outside
All
of that,
action,
been
all
all
action, baby. This is all the fights we've been looking for like 3 years. It's fucking great.
All right. There's a lot of things I need to catch up. Like, I'm glad I finally did Konosuba. I was like gonna try to like go through all the things that I wanted to finish. Like, I wanted to finish what's on my list. It's finally Made in Abyss because it took me so long.
Oh, my
And,
God.
it's because I'm playing more video games than watching shows. I haven't watched any of this stuff.
That's fine. You're playing KOTOR, Tyler. I'm not going to say you need to pick up a bunch of anime when you could play one of the best games of all time.
Oh my God. Why am I playing Immortal Dude?
oh, To Your Eternity.
Yeah, To Your Eternity.
I still
Wow.
think season
Finish that.
Ugh.
2. Wait, you finished season 2?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I want to finish it.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What? Stay mad, Tim.
No. I'm not mad. I'm just like, Freeman wasn't super high on that, and Val and I never even bothered picking up season 2 after we didn't like.
I still think it's worth watching. I thought it was really good.
I'm not saying it's not worth watching. It's just there's so much other great shit that I know it. Like, I didn't watch it, so I can't comment. But like, there is so much awesome stuff right now that I'm like, okay, that's your choice. But man, there's a lot of stuff waiting in the queue.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I'm rather invested in things that like I would watch. Like, I think like was it Dr. Stone had come out with its like season a long time ago that I never watched.
Yeah, I'm still not caught up either.
That's fine.
So like I want to watch that.
Like, Dr. Stone's good, but that's one of the things where I'd be like, you should catch up on My Hero before you pick up Dr. Stone again.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one. There is one anime that I am watching right now very consistently, but that's just because I'm watching it with my friends. And I said
Okay.
I was gonna keep it as a
Oh, a
Secret?
secret?
secret until
Ooh, keep it
I
Ooh,
secret.
finish
all
it.
right.
It's.
know
I
you-
don't think it's
You're
anything
going.
special though.
Is it airing now? I'm guessing it's not, right?
Oh no, it's been long done.
Long done. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right.
It's
Um,
something that's been long done, but it has a pretty decent amount of episodes to it.
I only have one question, and this is a yes or no question.
Uh huh.
Is it something that I've seen, or that you know that I've seen?
No.
Ooh,
well, it's
Yeah,
not
I'm
Interesting.
One
pretty
Piece,
confident
so-
you haven't seen this.
interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing about this when you finish
Freeman,
it.
did you watch
Especially
Naruto?
since I know. No, I'll tell you right now, it's not Naruto.
He's watching One Piece. He's watching One Piece confirmed.
Nah, see,
Oh.
I know Tyler wouldn't.
I
commit
said
to
it was
1,000
finished.
episodes. Yeah. Oh, that's true. You did.
Yeah, so that's
Hmm.
another hint. Dude, I was it so that's another thing why I feel more. I believe you didn't watch this because you didn't watch a lot of older stuff.
Ho
Is it
ho
Legend
ho
of the
ho.
Galactic
If
Heroes?
I'm not mistaken, huh?
Is it Legend of the Galactic Heroes?
It's not. I
Freeman,
want
stop
to.
fishing. I want it to be a surprise.
All
I
right, fine,
want
I'll
to
stop
watch
guessing.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes though. That shit bangs. Have
I
you
would
watched
watch
any of
that.
it?
I
I've
want
heard
to
that.
watch it at some point. I remember forever ago. I saw episode one. I'm like, this is old. I don't know if I can watch this. But this is also before I went back and rewatched Gundam and kind of appreciate older shows.
Sounds
now.
like something we need to all watch together because I'd be down to watch Legend
No,
of the Galactic
all
Heroes.
fucks with Legend of Galactic Heroes. That shit.
All right, let's
All right,
do
let's
it.
finish our shows that we are watching. Freeman, since I was
So,
talking about it, I'll
So
go ahead.
the only other new show for this season that I was going to pick up, and then Tim, I'll let you have it back,
Sure.
was Tower of God is back. For anyone who's out of the loop, this aired in 2020, mid-pandemic.
Oh my
so
god.
I load up episode 2. I don't recognize a single character on screen, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know where they are, and I pause. I'm like, did I miss something? So I
Oh, it's
pause and I
gonna
watch
be-
a 45-minute recap of season 1 to be like, okay, I do in fact remember all of this. So where the fuck is this show taking place? Because it seemingly had nothing to do with season 1 until the very last minute, where you realize there's one character who went around like slaughtering people. He might be the main character from last season. So the show goes for this like time skip, whiplash, you don't know what's going on approach to it. And I didn't like it at first. Now that I have a frame of where we are, it's fine. But I really did not like this episode 1. You're so in the dark, you could question whether you're watching the correct show.
Damn.
But the animation style changed. I think it's because the comic changed over time. Season 1 had this very like rough art style that was very much to match how the early chapters were, and now they're taking on the art style that the later chapters did. So it looks a little bit more like a generic anime, which kind of sucks. And the opening song is nowhere near as iconic as the one from season 1. So all in all, it feels like kind of a downgrade. But in terms of like the fight animation, it's still just as good as it was in season 1. So I'm gonna keep with it. See what happens. See if we can get some revenge on Rachel.
Rachel. Rahel.
All right, Tim. What else did you watch?
So this was supposed to be a surprise for Freeman, just like Tyler you're describing, except I couldn't help but track on Mal that I was watching this, and I was like, maybe Freeman won't notice amongst all the other updates. Freeman noticed within like 2
Literally
days.
every time I go on my analyst, the right third of the page is what your friends are watching. So see Tim watching
the
the show.
problem is I only go on the app. I never go on the web version, so I don't see the interface. But I decided that I was gonna start watching Mob Psycho 100 as my watch on my own time show that Val's not interested in. I'm like 3/4 of the way through season 1, and I'm glad I came back to watch Mob Psycho 100. Already some of the themes they're talking about: Mob's brother, Mob self-improvement, the bodybuilder club is great. The animation is incredible. Like I think I said this to you, Freeman. I feels like this is the show that paved the way for something like Bocchi to even exist.
Yes.
Like this is the show that said anime doesn't have to just look like anime.
Yeah. Like with Mob, I always describe it as it's the most beautiful, ugly show I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's the most. They know they don't have to it's almost a flex that they're like, we don't have to look pretty. We just have to convey what is happening.
But then they also have these moments where they're very pretty anyway.
Well, yeah, then there's moments like where people fight and you're like, Jesus Christ, they're going so hard on this right now. But like they do a lot to go out of their way to convey emotions, feelings, moments with minimal animation. Like when Mob gets knocked out in like episode 5 and he goes into like that dark form, Friedman.
Yes.
Like there is no detail there. There is nothing there, but there's a lot of movement and a lot of shadows, and you know shit is like that's fucked up. That's scary. And it uses its resources so well, and it prioritizes so well. Like characters are over exaggerated not because it's an anime, but because it's conveying something. So I'm really into it. Honestly, if we get off and Tyler's like, I'm gonna go to bed after this, I'm probably just gonna go watch an episode of Mob or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously I'd like to watch KOTOR, but like, but no, Mob is really good. I can see why this is one of your favorites, and if you, like you've said, if season 2 is one of your top of all time, I'm excited for this to keep going.
I really hope that doesn't taint your impression of season 2.
We'll see. I mentioned to the guy who I hired at my job, who was my intern, I had forgotten he also recommended Mob, and I mentioned it. Oh, that's right, because I told you guys him and my other intern said I was Reagan. And he reiterated that Reagan is like one of his favorite characters of all time. And I'm like, well, I haven't seen a ton from him yet. He's good, but I haven't seen a ton from him yet, and I'm excited to see more.
Yeah, definitely keep with it.
But now we're talking about things like video games that I don't know.
Oh yeah, video games. So I'll go here. So I air quotes beat a video game this weekend. I got to the first ending of Nier Automata, ending A. So I'm about 12 hours into the game. And it's hilarious because I'm assuming if someone went in blind, you'd assume this is the end of the game and think like, wow, that was a really short action game. Can't believe I paid $60 for that. But right after you beat the game and the credits are done rolling, you get a notification. And in-game, all the notifications are like from characters from organizations. This one is straight up addressed to you from Sony PR.
Huh.
Saying, hey, like, you at this point, you can replay the game. And while you may not want to, like, you really should. In fact, it's strongly recommended because you might miss stuff that would otherwise be part of the complete game experience. And it was a very oddly worded message saying, like, it's not actually over. Please hit continue to get to part 2 of 3 of this video game. So jumping in, I was expecting. So for any listeners who are out of the loop here, the way Nier Automata works is, the main story is you play as how do I describe it? Like the most famous character 2B. And then during your second playthrough, you play through the same storyline, but as essentially your sidekick character, who he's got several sections of the plot where I know he's on his own, but he also has a completely different moveset. He has a completely different mechanic for getting through the game. And he also has a very different philosophy than the main character, so getting in his head is very interesting. But once you complete both of those, the third path it's not like this isn't Sonic Adventure where you're playing the same story again. The third path is completely separate, straight up continuation. So you really have to, air quotes, play through the game 3 times. So I'm only a third of the way through. But I got to done. It's like 10 hours for each route. Okay. I'm not sure what the deal is with the last 2 because they're just branching decisions at the end of the third route. So I'm not sure what my save file situation needs to look like to complete this in the shortest time frame. But I'm going for ending E. That said, finishing ending A, I can say that this game is very cool. I really love it. So I'm looking forward to some of the story twists they do so far, because at least the gameplay, I forget who said it, but it's like playing 5 different genres all at the same time is how it feels sometimes playing Nier. So it's really cool. And they added more mechanics when you switch to 9S. I'm curious what they're going to do for the third route, if there's more mechanics or if it's just purely a story blitz. But I'm all here for it. I'm enjoying this game.
Hell yeah. I'm glad someone's enjoying it. Actually, I feel like I'm the only one who never enjoyed that game.
So you didn't play it, or you played it and didn't like it?
I played through the first ending, and I was like, fuck this noise.
Wow.
I kind of get where you're coming from, because the story is a little horseshit at this point.
Yeah, I didn't like the story, and I didn't like I honestly, like, if the gameplay was better, I probably would have kept playing it. But I hated the gameplay. It felt like dog shit.
Wow.
It's, how do I put it? You're not wrong. Because, like I said, it's trying to be 5 games at once, so a lot of the mechanics are a little shallow, and there just feels like there's a lot going on. Oh, but I have one anecdote I wanted to. I think I told you guys about this on Sunday, but I want the listeners to know about this. So I'm playing on PS5 where the game is bugged.
Oh,
Anytime you approach the giant crater at the center of the map that looks super ominous, that you have to walk through for story purposes, like 5 chapters in, game will crash. If you're near this area and you pick up an item, the game will crash. This has been a documented bug for over 2 years, but they're not fixing it because it's exclusive to PS5, a console that they don't sell this game for. So if you try to run the PS4 version on PS5, this will happen. So it made this crater at the center of the map, which is already kind of spooky as it is, fucking terrifying to have to go near because I'm just afraid my game is going to crash. And where do you think the final boss fight takes place?
Crater Town.
In the crater that crashes the game. Thankfully, I spent the entire boss fight exclusively hanging out on half of the fighting area because I'm like, I ain't going near the crash point. I'm not restarting this thing. And I managed to avoid crashing, but it made this one section of the game way more scary than the developer intended it to be.
Listen, it's just an extra depth of gameplay, dude. Just an extra depth.
Honestly, if I didn't have the bullshit loading screen to come back in, I could be convinced there's a part of the game where it's like data's too glitched, you can't go near that tower or something. Just adds the immersion. If the game didn't have a really shitty save system, I wouldn't care. Like if crashes weren't a thing, the save system would be fine because it really incentivizes you finding places to save and be safe or like always be near your network. But when the if you quick save and then you turn off the game and you load back, it doesn't load you where you are. It just loads you at the nearest save point to where you were, location-wise, which blows when you're erroring out like 500 yards from where you last saved, but you're still in saving range. So it's like, fine, you got to rerun it again before you glitch out. I don't know, minor grievances.
Nah, that's pretty fucking big grievance. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, what's Platinum Games doing? Actually, wait,
falling
what is
apart?
Platinum Games doing?
Not much these days.
Wait, did you look at the not safe for work Reddit, Freeman?
For what?
What?
In your Automata?
For two booty.
Oh,
R2
Look,
booty.
Tyler, there's a reason I'm playing this game.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit, let's go, man. Yeah, I knew you were a man of culture. I don't even know why I asked. Don't even know why I asked.
What I really hate is that I know of a lot of characters in this game purely because of fan art, not because I've met them in the video game.
Oh jeez.
All right, enough of that. Let's talk about some movies.
Movies.
Oh shit, I'm up first. So last Friday I got dragged along to go see Twisters on. It wasn't opening night; it was the day after. And I had the unique experience of having not seen the original, so I didn't know what in this movie was a reference to the original and what wasn't. That said, it was an entertaining movie. Effects were good. It seems like the plot line is pretty much the same thing as the original Twister, and they have a bunch of references to the technology they were testing out in that movie. I will say though, and I told you guys this, and the people I was with were watching me laugh in the theater, but anytime anything sciencey or technical happens, they just start using bullshit mumbo jumbo, and I was laughing hysterically at how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like anytime they're like, "Oh, we got to release this chemical compound," I'm like, "Good lord, they're literally just making shit up here." Like none of this is. If any of this was correct, there's no way they're describing this even remotely close to how it is. And I get it. The average viewer doesn't give a shit, but it took me really hard out of the movie. Like there's this one bit where there's this character who's been flying a drone the whole movie to film these tornadoes. And the main character teams up with them at the end, and she goes up and says, "Hey, can you equip your drone to gather data?" And the other one just looks at her dead and goes, "Yeah, I can." And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck was that interaction? What data? Like, who talks like this? And then you want to know what data they hooked it up to gather?
Please.
None. They didn't. They just used the drone for the same thing was used for the rest of the movie, just to film in the air.
Oh.
So just there's these goofy one-offs that make it sound smarter or more scientific than it is, when in actuality it's really not. That's my only grievance with it. The movie's great. The twist in the middle about who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, all phenomenal. Well, phenomenal is a strong word. All entertaining. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my candid review of Twisters.
I got one on the list just because this was so Val and I finally made some more progress on our movie posters to watch. Movie poster of movies to watch. We actually took the time and watched the absolute classic Sound of Music.
Oh man, I haven't seen it forever.
it's pretty funny to watch because I'm like, man, I forgot how many songs I have like ingrained in my head from my childhood came from this movie.
There's a lot of classics in it.
So many. The whole movie is an absolute classic. Honestly, I think I gave it I had originally rated it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, like when I first started Letterboxd. I bumped it up to a 4.5. Like, some of the dialogue is a little dated.
Yeah.
But overall, like, the songs are still great. There's honestly not a lot of ridiculous stuff. There's not like a lot of cartoonishly over the top stuff like there were in a lot of movies back then. Like, it's not like everyone's overacting like crazy or anything like that. Like, the goofiest stuff is like some dialogue and like sometimes when people just break into song, and that's like normal for musicals back then. Yeah, honestly, this is still an absolute classic. The songs are instantly catchy and memorable. Cinematography's good. A lot of the moments are shockingly funny, and the dialogue, like some of the dialogue is dated, but some of it is pretty. Some of the lines are pretty memorable. Yeah, it's just another one of those. This is a classic for a reason, and if you have any interest or even a ability to sit through a musical, you should try this one.
Old ass
Ability to
grandpa
sit through a
movie.
musical.
Well, it's also long.
Yeah, long old grandpa's fucking movie. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
feel
why
like
I
how do I
don't
put it?
watch old ass movies.
There's some people who appreciate old movies. There's some people who don't. I feel like this is the kind of movie where it's starting to reach that age where a lot of people are just not gonna like the style of this kind of movie.
I know, and that's disappointing.
Wait,
Like-
didn't you watch Bridge Over River Kwai with us? Or is that something we were going to
Never-
watch?
That's something we're
It's been
going to
on
because I
our
haven't
list
seen it.
forever because Freeman hasn't seen it.
That's right. That shit's a banger.
I
I
don't
put it
know,
on
man.
the background, but didn't actually watch it at work. And I was like telling people about this movie. They're like, "What the fuck?"
You've told this story, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
told
probably-
the story.
Prisoner of Requires probably a lot different than what we're thinking of, but like when we watched it was like we watched The Great Escape like maybe a year or two ago, and I love that movie, but it feels so different from what I think of when I think of watching a movie, in terms of like how it's shot or how like lines are delivered, and that was just the style of the time, and I actually do like it. I wouldn't say I love it more than like modern cinema, but like either you do or either you can or you can't enjoy that.
And it comes down to the person. I
Yeah.
still love some old movies like this, and it's if you can enjoy an older movie, this is still one of the greats. I hope I get to watch this with Henry someday and have him enjoy the songs.
Someday, maybe. No, Dad, I don't want these old ass movies.
Look, if you somehow trick him into watching Mary Poppins when he goes through his Disney era, you can easily make the transition.
It's gonna fuck me up when I have kids, and I'm gonna be like, "Yo, we're gonna watch one of my favorite all-time movies, Training Day,
And they're
or
like,
Kill Bill,"
this
and be
sucks.
like, "Dad, I don't want to watch these
It's
old
old
movies."
movies.
Uh,
I'll
That's gonna
blast
hurt.
myself on the spot.
Stop,
I'll do it.
Tyler. You're already you're telling the future.
Yes, it's gonna be awful. Sound of music
Tyler, why don't you finish us off with a nice book?
with a book. I finished the second book in the it's called the Crimson Campaign, the Black Powder Mage series. Wait, did I talk about this? I feel like I talked about this.
I feel like you talked about
Yeah.
to us in person.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Hold on. Yeah, because it's been a while since we. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm going back just to make sure.
Check out
But
the
yeah,
It was
I.
either this Sunday or last Sunday. We were having a book discussion.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, I didn't see it in the last
No.
thing, so. Okay. Okay. The Black Powder Mage series by Brian McKellen. It's pretty good. I finished the second book. It alleviated all of my worries about like after the first book. Like the first book I thought was just okay. The characters didn't really have any sort of development. I only really liked it because the action was really good. Like I thought the action was superb.
Hmm.
And I really enjoyed it. And I was like, maybe 2 will be better. And 2 was way better. And it's just gotten better from there. So like I'm on the 3rd book now, and yeah, highly recommend it. It takes place like the whole premise of the entire trilogy is, it's right after this field marshal stages and successfully completes a coup and dethrones their king.
Whoa.
And it's just the aftermath of all of that. And it has the 3 POV characters. It's the field marshal himself, the son, a detective. Oh, and this 4th, it's a girl.
Wait, sorry. This is the whole series. This is just this book is the aftermath.
Oh, the whole series is the POV of these characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very good. And I honestly, yeah, it is. I'm not at the end of this, but it's a definite recommend to you, Tim, if
Ooh.
you ever read a book again.
Oh my god.
I know I recommended. I recommended, what's it called? Those other ones, but I think honestly, for you specifically, I'd put this over those, just because
Oh
they're
wow. Okay.
shorter. Yeah, I think they're better for you, honestly.
Wow. For
What?
you.
No. Yeah, for you. All right, they're shorter. They're like way more like hard-boiled action than anything, and there's also like the detective character. Like there's a like whole. There's a guy who's like a Sherlock Holmesy type of person. He's definitely not as smart. That's why I kind of like him. Like it seems like he is perfect, but he is definitely far from perfect. He has a lot of flaws. But it's really, I think it's really good. I think it's like I said, it's action packed, and the character, the first book is kind of like, eh, but the second book, I think it's worth reading it for the second and third book. I mean, I'm listening to them actually. I'm listening to them. That's why I'm burning through them and haven't finished Heir to the Empire yet, even though I could have finished Heir to the Empire
That's right.
already.
You're double. I keep forgetting you're going double hard on the classic Star Wars.
Yeah, man. I don't even know where this even came from. I think it was just like I wanted a Star Wars thing, and like I had like it was really weird. I'm like I want to consume something Star Wars, and I was like, all right, let's just do it. Yo, man, I'm halfway through Heir to the Empire. I don't think I ever actually checked in with you.
Nope.
I really like this book.
Yep.
It's good.
It's a little weird because a lot of stuff it's you can tell that this is one of the first things that ever came out after the movies because a
Yeah.
lot of things aren't really locked down yet. Like they kind of reference the Clone Wars and it's
Yeah.
like the Clone Wars aren't really established what that means. They just kind of reference clones.
Yeah, not yeah. It hasn't been established for another like 3 or 4 years in
But as a self-contained
movieverse.
package, it's still very cool.
Yeah, and after reading this, I think the shows like oh my god, Rebels. I think Rebels captured Thrawn's character perfectly.
I've heard
Like,
that. I've heard that it the character is consistent.
yeah, spot on, spot on. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I see why people like these books, or at least like after reading, like almost reading, done finishing this first one, I was like, I can see the appeal. So, I want to finish it by next week, but definitely by the next podcast, I'll have it read.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of by the next podcast, I think it's time for us to head towards the next podcast and end this one.
Yeah.
You guys next week for Timpedia. I almost called it Timpedia Podcast 2.
Timpedia podcast.
For TNT Podcast 2.
What?
You
Revenge
said
of the
it's time for us
Sith.
to end this podcast and move on to
Oh.
the next one. So I said, well next week we'll be back
The
with
sequel
TNT
one.
Podcast 2.
And before we rebrand.
Oh God. Well, whether or not we rebrand, you guys will just have to check in next time to find out. But
Neither
until
did.
next time, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just only Tyler.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.